Christy's here, and Josh, Pat Godwin. There's Ace Cosby. We'll be joined by a special guest in seconds. There he is. I'm Chick. Here's Tom.
Duh.
Oh, speaking of green jackets.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
Al, I love how you
This will
played
be
the
a
game,
topic.
my friend.
Al, it looks like you and Pat Godwin are parking cars at Augusta.
I love it.
I'm glad you said something. Look, it needs to be said. Pat Godwin is looking like a snack lately.
Thank you.
Look at
very
you're a
much.
good-looking guy. Like
Yeah.
honestly,
Oh, yeah.
Pat, Christy,
What?
tell the people. Pat looks. You look as good as I've seen you in a long time, brother. Congratulations, man. You look
Thank
good. You
you.
look
You
healthy.
too,
you look
man.
like an author that just wrote a book, and you're on a press tour now.
It's out.
It's
Please
called
buy
Living
it.
My Best Life.
Oh, I think the book looks like my washing machine's broken.
See how he is, Al? I told you. I warned you, man.
Now, Al, I want to get to something here. We should point out Al Jackson is one of the hosts of the DBL, the Daily Blast Live, and you guys take on all kinds of topics. And it's my understanding, I did not see it yesterday, but you were discussing Wordle. Is that correct?
Yes, the woman that was cheating.
Now, first of all, Wordle is a word game one plays with oneself. I don't know how you would cheat or why, but...
Is that what we're calling it? Dad goes in the bathroom with his laptop. I'm playing Wordle. Leave me alone.
I'm almost finished.
So
How do you spell Zendaya?
It's more than 5 letters, isn't it?
That's weird. Yeah.
I will object. Yesterday in the
She's riding that sandworm. Okay, sorry.
Chick and I have a thing. The New York Times mini crossword. The goal is to do it under a minute. Yesterday I had a terrible day. The first one was a Chinese greeting that means "you good."
Yeah.
5-letter word, which I've never ever seen or heard.
What is it?
NIHAO. Who knows that?
Ni hao.
Yeah,
Now?
but I'm saying that seems like an odd request. But Wordle, which I love,
How many people would get that?
you'd have to
How
get
many
the
people would
crosses.
know that?
Well,
I've never seen that.
You'd have to get the ones down,
Yeah.
going down to
when
get
did
it.
crossword puzzles allow the clue is able and the answer is will do? That's not a crossword puzzle.
Able will do.
It's
see.
words, one word to one word, one word to one word. They do that all the time.
Which crossword puzzle had ni hao?
New York Times.
Oh, well, you better get used to Chinese words. Being
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You can check Josh's website. He's been predicting this. Personal. The government's also monitoring it.
So I didn't. So Al, why were you guys talking about cheating on Wordle and B? How do you do it short of, I guess, looking up the answer somewhere?
yeah.
That's exactly what we were talking about, cheating on Wordle. And I said, you know me, Tom, the thing about this kind of show where you guys talk for hours and hours, or my show where we talk for, you cannot lie because it just like you have to. And I was like, I cannot talk about this story and like judge this woman because I used to cheat my grandmother. I don't know if I told this. I used to cheat my grandmother at Monopoly.
Really?
Yes, it's
Al
very sad. I'm not.
Jackson.
Christy, do you know how much shame?
Oh.
And and here's the reason. I was probably 9 or 10, and my mom was in graduate school at the time. So me and my sister would go to my grandmother's on Friday nights, and we would play Monopoly, and they were dismembering me every game. and my central nervous system snapped, and I was tired of losing. So I used to take Monopoly money and put some of it in the upstairs guest bathroom. I'd put $800 up there, a little emergency slush fund up there.
Hilarious.
And yeah, and like I would still lose. And one time, like this is the thing, and why you just don't understand. My grandmother, and people listening will understand, there was a generation of women that cleaned their house, bro. I'm talking about dawn gloves on, cleaning the silver on Sundays, steaming the curtains. But it's so insulting for me to even think that my grandmother was not cleaning that upstairs bathroom underneath the sink. And I was sitting in front of her. This is like something out of a movie. I was sitting waiting for dinner like I would be. And, my plate was empty. And she just put the cash right in front of me. She was like, you left this upstairs. And she was such a sweet woman. I don't think she realized I was cheating. I think she thought maybe I was just upstairs playing with it.
Yeah.
But the feeling of doom and just, and I was losing anyway. That was the bad thing. I couldn't. My grandmother was a machine of Monopoly. She was bankrupting my company and my family. I had to do something.
I've always hated the game of Monopoly.
Yeah, we know.
I hate it.
Honestly, has anybody in that room ever finished a game of Monopoly?
Yeah, yeah. And it literally took hours.
But I played there's a new edition. They have now one for each city and everything. I played the Moscow edition, which is great because you take the game out, spread out all the money, divide it equally, and then close the box and it's over. Those commies. So, Al, again, how do you cheat at Wordle and why? What's the point? You play it by yourself.
I don't play Wordle because I have an active sex life, but what people do.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we have to have a bigger discussion.
Well,
here.
those who can't complain, it's fine, Al. Go ahead. All right.
This is how you find the Wordle players: is you just insult them until somebody speaks up. That's enough, bro.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, there was a word earlier this week. The word was shank. How hip is that?
Shanking.
Wow, is shank?
Was it shank or skank?
It was shank.
It was shank. Yeah, skank, it would have been funnier.
Isn't that interesting that like a word that was generated in prison is now just like thrown around?
Before you can shank a golf ball.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about it that way. I thought it was a beef shank.
The being stabbed in prison.
Yeah, when you're working the license plate machine, you make a shank for yourself in case somebody gets wise with you. Right, Al?
Plan when he goes to jail and he doesn't realize they haven't made license plates in like 30 years.
I know, right?
And he's in big trouble now.
I'd like to know, Al, we did a little research. There are a handful of prisons that still make license plates. You have to wonder what the guys do, because you know they can make a vanity plate. And they probably get tired of, oh, here's one, baby doc. You know those guys are making some dirty ones.
Absolutely.
Just for their cell.
Those guys.
Really?
I don't think they're allowed to have license plates in their
What do you mean, like Bufu 1? Hanging on the wall?
no,
That's funny, Spike. Another year for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know that they're doing that.
They are not doing it.
Hey, I got your birthday present. It says Mom 69. Get it? This is why we're not on your show, Al, by the way.
No, please, we would be honored to have you. I don't know if I told you guys, this is, I'll send the picture so you can put it on X immediately. But I hope this is okay for the show. I was driving to the studio, and there was a Ram pickup truck in front of me, and on the window in the back, in huge letters, they must be like transparent so you could see it. Huge letters that took up the whole back window. It said, "Dodge the father, ram the daughter." I hope I can say that. That's what it said.
Oh,
and I guess it's going with the truck,
Right.
I guess it's an insult to Dodge, but I was like, you're also like.
What? The Dodge Ram?
Yeah, like you dodge her dad and go after the daughter.
Oh, okay.
right, yeah.
Dodge the
I
bottom,
guess,
right,
but
yeah.
it was like I'm like, isn't that about like going after somebody? It was just
Right.
That is
and
weird.
it's just it's one of those things where I'm just like, Christy, it's just like, do you have one good friend that's like, maybe don't do that? Just one, like you need one good friend to be like, you look like a magician in that hat. Take that off.
Right.
Like you need somebody's going to be honest with you and be like, I know what you're going for, but even if you do get lucky at the bar and pull a young woman out of there and you're walking in the car, which one's yours? Because it was a nice, beautiful truck. And it's like, I'm the one with the disgusting pedophilic adjacent statement on the back of it. It's
So
such a weird thing.
Now, Al, we were
weird, Josh.
We were talking about having testicular issues, and in which case sometimes they have to remove one. And one guy said that his buddy had fortunately caught a particular illness, and they were able to remove the one testicle, and everything's fine. But his buddy's got him those truck nuts, but cut off one of them and stuck them on the back of his truck. But see, that's a great gag.
And do you know what I love about that, Tom? I always say, and I say this on the show, you're not over something until you can make fun of it. And like, if you and somebody got a close friend got in a bad argument, you didn't talk for 5 years and then reconciled, you're not really over it until somebody makes a crack. Like, yeah, that's why I took your girl, bro. Like, just once it's out there, like, okay, we're officially over this. So I like that. That's a real friend that were like, homeboys don't want like a greeting card saying get better. Like, make fun of me. That's the only way I can accept love.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Al Jackson's our guest. You'll see him on the Dealey. That was the
Dealey Plaza, yeah.
Daily Blast Live. Sorry. Speaking of
That's
Dealey
our
Plaza,
urban competition show.
speaking of Dealey Plaza, I posited this earlier. Do you think there's a kid out there named Oswald Kennedy?
I'm sure.
I mean, that would be so crazy.
Ford Lincoln. Ford Lincoln, yeah.
Because I was asking, do you think that when the Ford Motor Company decided that they do the Lincoln after Lincoln was shot at Ford's Theater, do you think they'd kind of avoid that? I don't know.
One would think,
but I'm watching that. Chick and I are watching that. Is it called Manhunt?
Manhunt.
On Apple TV.
Yeah.
It's a great acting. The script has some problems, but
Josh has a video like that, but it's not. It's not the same genre.
It is a different thing.
Manhunt?
Yeah.
Manhunt.
Different manhunt.
yeah, okay.
They drive the
All
what is
black
it,
cast.
a limousine across the city, and they just pick up homeless people and bang them.
And I do something. I do something in front of the mirror where I tuck, and it sounds like Manhunt.
Again, Al, this is why we're not on your show.
Look at me.
Al,
Look at me.
I'm surprised you don't do Wordle because you are a word guy, Al.
You like my
I am.
And our segment weekly often revolves around words and helping me get hipper and more street.
Hipper, as if he's hip.
Yeah.
Now, Al, what's our word for today?
All right, Tom. I'll be honest. You know, we're barreling straight forward to the summer, right? And the winter towards the end, after a promising start, we've been tailing off a little bit. So I feel like we need to get that hip. We're going to get a hip injection. And we're going to start right now. Tom, you're going to show the people how you know these words. So, Tom, just use the word big in a sentence, the way it would be said by younger folks in the know,
Big.
in a slang way. Yes, not in the general describing the size of something.
Big.
When would you use the word big in a sentence?
Christy, give me the look. What
I
do you
don't
think?
know. I'm just giving you the look.
May I try?
Yeah, please.
Man, the party was. We were having a good time, and all of a sudden I look over and Chick came in big.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl.
Place went wild.
Does that make any sense?
I like that. If it doesn't, it should.
Yeah.
Close. You needed one more word because big has to modify something. Really,
Okay.
almost anything. So you're basically. I was just wait. If you'd said almost literally any other word, it would have been correct. So if you've been like, we're having a party. I think we're being quiet in the family room. Chick swings the door open. He is big mad. He's like, I got to get up for Bob and Tom at 3 a.m. I'm like, we're being quiet. So like big just like modifies anything that you're just trying to say was heightened.
Okay.
So somebody could be big mad. Somebody could,
So it's almost like
any
very.
other way.
Yeah.
So big money would still hold up then,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
He spent big money.
And even if it was something more compact, you could say Chick pulled up in a Porsche 911. It was big.
No.
No?
I don't think the judges say no.
But that car did look big, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, big, yeah.
Yeah, you could say big cool, big fly. I would say
you got a car that can fly? Cool.
I would say if
Chitty,
Chick
chitty,
pulls
big,
up
big.
in a Porsche, you just say Chick pulled up extra clean.
I like that.
Super.
Extra clean.
Al, to reverse roles here, is hoopty still a thing?
Oh, God.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
So
no.
I should stop calling
Al, the next time he asks something like that, you go, yes, absolutely. Yes.
I should not refer to my ride as a hoopty.
No. I'm trying to think. Josh, can you think of a word now to describe like a junker type
Beater?
car?
Yeah, beater, banger,
Crash?
Yeah.
a POS.
Oh, POS.
Yeah.
Now, was hoopty only referencing an older, somewhat damaged vehicle?
That's how I always heard it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it
Yeah,
was like a cool ride.
No. So you not only were you
No, it's exact
dated,
opposite.
you were wrong.
Yeah.
Wow. No wonder the guy at the BMW place gave me that look when I took it in to have my tire checked.
So you're sitting around with your friends and you're going, man, I hope I can afford a hoopty someday. And they're thinking, this guy is an idiot.
Oh, you're a car guy. You like a good old fashioned car. What are you driving now? Are you driving last time we talked, you were driving a muscle car.
I was. That muscle car was stolen from the airport. Yes. Stolen from the I paid for the good lot too, and they got it. So I got an Audi A6,
Nice.
A7. So
nice.
The 20. It's funny. I just gone after my car was stolen. I used that app Turo, which is basically like Airbnb but for cars. And the last car I drove was the A7, and I just wanted to test drive it at the place. And I pulled up because I got my car back because they didn't chop it up. The reason I got my Challenger back is they were drag racing it on the highway. And so I got it back, which was kind of cool. So I drove for another couple weeks and then went to get a new car. And I pulled up and this young guy in the parking lot of the Audi was like, let me buy that car for you and get you in this car. And I was kind of like trying to get rid of the car anyway. And it worked out. But it was just like that car, that muscle car, the Challenger was just like, I felt like that was as close as a man will ever know what it's like to be a hot chick, because construction workers would just nod at me. Like people stared at the car. It was just such a pretty, and it wasn't like brand new. I think it was a 2014.
What color was it?
But it was just like, it was all black with matte black rims.
Oh.
And it was just like, it was a striking car. I got it from Texas. And it was one of those things where you're like, I just paid some thousands of dollars to a website that I don't know was legit. And sure enough, they pulled up a couple days later on one of those, truck semis, and they just dropped it off in the parking lot of DBL, and I had that car right up until it was stolen.
That is the best modern day perk is how they do cars in it. You can have cars delivered. That is absolutely the best in the world.
Now, hey, Al, I got one for you. Maybe you don't know this one. I was driving, of course, and I saw this car. It was a flat black. Flat black.
Murdered out?
That was my quiz question for Al. They call that murdered out, I found out. Are you aware of that?
Yes, but you have to have the tints as well. It's got to be all black, almost like, because you'll see that here in Colorado sometimes. You'll see the all black Jeeps, but it's like the Black Ops one. I think they were trying to get it to go along with that game Halo, but it's like, the whole car's got to be black everywhere.
It doesn't matter what you're saying. He's so pissed at me for ruining his little quiz.
I wanted to see if Al was going to get the right answer. I thought I could just for a second I could have out-hipped him, but no.
That will never happen.
You can feel the tension. It's like you ever walked into somebody's house and you know they just had an argument like 30 seconds before you walked in.
Yes.
They're like, hey, Christy, wine's in the kitchen. You're like, oh, we can leave.
Hey, Al, can you get? I was wondering, can you get a day off sometime in the next few months? We'll have you do a live show with us at some cool location. Do a little stand-up night.
Absolutely.
Let's get working on that.
Next week, I will be in town for the Brouhaha, so I want to be in the studio with you guys next week. I'll call you guys after.
We're not here next week. We're off on Thursday.
Good to see you.
Hurtful and racist.
Using the racist.
Nice jacket, by the way. It's time for us to go.